the Ministry of Health has launched yet another service under universal health coverage. This new service includes conducting pap smears using liquid-based cytology, which will assist in eliminating cervical cancer.
This new method of conducting pap smears is more comfortable and more convenient. So ladies, contact your nearest wellness center to get to know about our pap smear clinics.
Turnaround time for HPV testing is 1 week. Any abnormal or positive test, there'll be a following week for cytology testing. We're also going to test for HPV strains 16 and 18, which are the most aggressive, which cause cervical cancer. We can also test for other STIs, such as herpes simplex type 1 and type 2, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and others.
Patients with an abnormal HPV and an abnormal cytology shall be referred to the colposcopy clinic. At that clinic, we shall assure that you get the proper treatment and guidance.
So come in and access this new service. Your health is our priority.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
I suspect very soon he's going to have his own intro and stinger, you know. Very soon you always think about Shelton Daniel is here. It's either it'll change to Shelton and Terence Fenelon are here, or it's going to be Terence Fenelon is in the house, because he's with me again today, you know. Good afternoon to you, brother. Thanks once again for being here with us.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
On The Real Issues. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd of October, 2024. And we're happy to have you on another program. As you know, they air weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on Real FM, the radio station that serves you on two frequencies, 91.3 in the north and 91.5 in the south. Our sister station on which we simulcast NBC Television, Channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We're also on Facebook Live and streaming live on YouTube as well. Hope you're having a good day so far. It's a beautiful day. It's a St. Lucian day. Yeah, it's a St. Lucia day. You know, just this morning, I don't know why some thought crossed my mind. Suppose one day I said God is a St. Lucian. I wonder how many people would jump up and accuse me of being guilty of blasphemy and, you know, being irreverent. But do you know, for centuries, perhaps forever, the English have been saying just that God is an Englishman? Do we ever hear condemnation of them? Why is it that any time something which may appear a little obnoxious, you know, even in the least, that we are so quick to jump up and to condemn our own and to call them all kinds of names and so on? But when it emanates from, you know, the white man's world of Europe and North America and so on, we're okay with it. Yeah, I've been thinking many times, and I'm no fan of pum-pum shots and skettel shots and you know, things showing half of people's backside out, man or woman and so on. I'm not a fan of the new trend of young men, you know, always wearing their pants down, that you always have to be seeing 2/3 of their backside, or is it a half or a quarter, I don't know. The underwear has to be way above. I'm never a fan of it, but I always tell myself, whatever outrage we feel at those things, would we have felt the outrage You know, because I've seen performers come to St. Lucia, not even outside the Caribbean, right here from Jamaica. You know, remember the days of Patra and this and that and all, and when they came with their shorts, you know, and so on. And you know, we love it. It's a fashion. We shake our heads. We see the white people. Well, you know, they are white people. They are tourists. But if we see a local woman dressed in any way that is revealing or what we would consider skimpy and so on, the kind of descriptions we have for me say famsa pasa di mo yota lop mo gon we di mo say sai way kamiti lay and on we on and on and on and on about them and so on. You know, like I said, I hold no brief for any of those things, but I've often wondered about the sort of cannibalism where we like to devour each other, the sort of internalized racism where something is always wrong when it is. And that's why this morning, you know, an entertainer was on television showing experiences he had recently up in New York, you know, with wrestling and with going to Gentlemen's Club. And I said to myself, okay, maybe the time of the day and so on might be a little rough and so on, you know, especially since it's not that kind of restricted in terms of access. I doubt many parents or whatever go to the remote and go for the access controls and do all those sorts. But I tell myself, you know, suppose it was somebody else, suppose it was some white person, some foreigner and so on doing it. I wonder if we would have felt a sense of outrage about it. And we need to look at that. I'm not making any pronouncements on those things, but I believe we need to have some serious focus, some conversations, some discussions about it. Terry Fenelon is here, and one thing I can say about him is that he tries to put a lot into a little in terms of the material that he comes with and the time that is available. And so I promised him today I'll pull myself aside as much as possible. But even if I try to, the guy's always prodding me. He's always, you know, you might not see it, you know, because it's kind of almost under the table. What is it, Shelton? Shelton, comment on that. Say something. And I'm trying to spare him because I know once I come in, what's up, Bushma, and he breaks, let me come say, Masado boat. And when the two of us, you know, are trying to tear into something and so on, put our fangs and our claws into something, it's going to eat up the time. So I'll defer to him, allow him, you know, to have a bit to say. But let me just very quickly add something. You've heard me say before how my now departed mother, long departed, next month will be 14 years since Agnes Daniel left us. Wonderful lady, you know, in every respect and so on, raised us mostly as a single parent and so on. She was once Mother of the Year, and I remember, you know, the function, the ceremony where she was honored and so on was held at the Presbytery, how you call that hall in the
Mothers and Fathers Hall, right?
Yeah, same place where Ave Maria School compound, the Presbytery.
Oh yes,
all of that is right
Catholic
there. Catholic Church and so on, all of there, and also, you know. Sorry, folks, I'm not a town boy, you know, right? So a lot of things don't really stick in my mind. And I remember what a nice night it was. But she's always something she told us, her children. And it was the words, Lawa mundeo, say deo yo sa. Usafe saufe, say deo yo deo. Like when people are out to get you, to persecute you, you know, to harass you, to do everything, you know, you can do whatever you want. And she used to tell us, it makes no sense trying to retaliate. Just pray. That was one thing about her, always encouraging us to pray. You know, just pray. When you pass them and you see they start, just take another way and say a little prayer in your heart. Just keep on saying, even if you only have time to say, I believe in God, that's enough. Just keep on saying, I believe in God. To remind yourself that your faith, that the person you're depending upon is not yourself, is not anything, is God you're depending. So sometimes you may not have time to frame a prayer. Just say in your heart, I believe in God. Always used to tell us that. I'm not making it up. Like I say, I have several siblings who can bear us all honor. You see what Ernest Hiller did in the Parliament yesterday? It should be enough to give lockjaw. That's a condition they used to say to anybody who was a naysayer, who was a detractor, who was a false accuser on that CIP. But don't think they'll stop, you know. Don't think they'll stop. Ernest Hiller has been the target of persecution for many, many years. Persecution by none other than Alan Shastley. I'm told last night he was on some talk show saying he's not satisfied. He wants to look at the escrow account. He wants to see. They'll let him see the escrow account. It will be something else. And after the something else, it will be even things that are already available, which he does not have the discipline, which he does not have the commitment, he does not have the focus to go and look into reports that as leader of the opposition and chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, it should be absolutely no sweat to break to go and look into those things. He's going to want something else. The same man, you know, who said that the Labour Party had lost the right to speak after June the 6th, 2016. Well, he will never consider that UWP and himself, as former Prime Minister and former Minister of Finance, that they have lost the right to want to look at every line of every contract and everything. That's a function of when you're in government. But they'll give it to him, and it'll be something else. Now I heard it coming up with another thing now about some other thing they're coming up with already. Just now you'll hear them talking about Juniqueol, and Juniqueol, because word is circulating about how Ernest Hilaire, as the minister responsible for, I suppose, national festivals and culture, creative industries, that he would be the minister responsible. How he cut the budget for Juniqueol and this and that and the other. You'll begin to hear all those kinds of things. They must find a way to go after somebody that they have targeted. They've seen already Richard Frederick. It's not going anywhere with him. Richard has a weekly talk show, and apart from what he'll do in the parliament, he'll come on Can I Help You? And he will absolutely demolish,
Blows
in a very public way and so on. Ernest Hilaire will wait for the opportune public, platform moment of the day of the weekly cabinet briefings or so on and so forth. Not Richard. So Ernest seems to be the one that they want to go after, and there's a personal beef in it for Alan Chastney. Now there's another thing that has started about school sports. Some people, without asking any questions, they're going to just go and be making statements, and they don't really understand what has been happening. But I'm not going to say anything on that. Leave it to the government, Minister of Sports, Minister of Education, to decide whether or not they want to make a public statement. But just know, it is never going to end. Maybe we just have to accept it's a function of opposition to do that sort of thing. So they probably feel, but I just wish the person who's leading this kind of bluff charge, this kind of grandstanding and showboating, that he would take the time to equip and familiarize himself with the information that is easily available for his edification and that of those that he purports to want to edify. So much for a guy who said just 1 minute,
Yes.
Fenelon. Go ahead.
According to Comrade Pell, he just, who's Comrade Pell is Ambassador Peter Lansico.
Yeah,
This guy is too lazy to read and invest. And that is true, he's never prepared.
Yes.
He always has a briefcase with a lot of notes, or thick paper, empty, nothing on it. And I guess, as he said about corruption, is too onerous.
Yes.
The burden. So, but ladies and gentlemen, well, I don't have the screen before me there. I hope you've seen this. The report is out. Let me pull that up. Can I pull that up? Can you zoom in there, Jaquan?
Yes.
The report is out.
Annual report.
Annual report. Yes, we can. Yes, by investment program.
Yes.
So Rijoc, Martinez,
Yes.
and the others, the traitors, who were they came together to try to bring down St. Lucia. Look it.
Yes. Go on
Put
with
it in your pipe and smoke it.
Yes.
It is out. Okay? So all the bombshells that you think you had, or you think you have, that has, well, they can't detonate. They turned out to be duds. All right? So here it is. The public, the CIP report. Read it. I just got my copy, so I'll be going through it. Every day I'll take a little bit and a little bit.
It's not an extremely long report. The report is just about 30 pages.
Yeah, easy to read.
31
Easy to read.
Easy to read in big
layman,
print.
You know what I mean? Layman terms. You don't have to be an economist.
Yes.
I mean, there are some people masquerading as economists in this country. Mixed degrees.
Yeah.
Comrade Pell has asked you to produce your degree, You can't do that. All secondary school children, all ASAFA people, they can produce their certificates. You can't produce yours yet. So it's out. There's no secret. There's nothing hidden. It is there. And I know why y'all are afraid, because CIP money is now going to be used for the benefit of every citizen. The fifth finger of the OKEU hospital will be built on CIP funds.
On CIP funds.
Rockall Housing Development.
Talvan Housing.
Yes.
All of
now,
that.
in the Prime Minister's speech on Sunday in Bellevue.
Bellevue.
Bellevue. I noticed he did not even reference that yet. This development. So they're coming.
Yeah,
as the Prime Minister says, we coming. And ladies and gentlemen, we are coming. Boss Al, I have to big you up, and I want the other flabbos to follow you. You have seen the light.
Right.
When you have seen the light, you have to change. That's
right.
You must make a change. So, Boss Al, you have seen the light. You have compared.
Yes.
You took what you saw in 2016, 2021. You look at what is happening now. Today I'm wearing pink. The teachers told me I have to wear pink today.
Yes.
And the teachers are happy, because just last month, PJP, the goodness of his heart, gave them $1,400. Put that in your pockets, buy something, Help yourself.
Yeah, right.
Every teacher was smiling, and they're going to the Gino Creole, have some fun. So remember me, Miss, a little sauce and thing. I like sauce. Invite me to a little thing, please.
How many teachers that got 1,400?
Man, that's over 2,000 teachers.
I wonder if 2,000 teachers, each of them buy a food for you on Junior. You deserve it, as a former good principal.
Oh yes. Hopefully I get an invite to somewhere,
man. I wonder
man.
if 2,000 teachers, all of them had cry and they decide they give
I'll have to take a rain check.
And you decide ask for it. I can't say no. I can't turn it down. I want to follow you around and see you eating.
Yeah, man.
But before you go, command friend, something very important.
Right.
I got a forwarded mail from, saying please donate blood.
Oh yes.
And when I saw the name, my eyebrows raised because the name of the person that I know by that name did not, square with the picture that is being shown there. And it says, please donate blood. Nicole David is in urgent need of blood.
Yes.
Donations can be made at the OKEU hospital. Make a donation in her name. Blood needed by 2 p.m. today, October 23rd, 2024. We need your help. Spread the word. And when I looked, I had to message the person back and say, is that the same Nicole David, the singer?
Yes, the singer.
And the individual said
Sonia,
yes. And I mean,
the soca artist,
because she looks so... she looks pretty. Absolutely pretty, attractive and so on. But it's a much smaller, slimmed down Nicole David than I used to know. And the person said, yes, there's a time frame with which donations need to be received, and that is today. Today, they need the blood for her by 2 p.m., just when real issues end. It needs to be received. So if you could mention it, that would be great. And yes, I am mentioning it now.
Yes.
I have seen Nicole only once since I came back, and it was one night on my new discovery of Moso. Moso's place where he sells food. A little place at Marishill, close to where supermarket is and so on. And then she came in there with a young man, and as usual, she was as pleasant as she's always been with me and so on. But she didn't look anywhere as slender as who I'm saying. So if it is an indication of an illness, or if she just slimmed down, it really doesn't matter. And so on.
The blood is.
But Nicole David, is in need of blood. The only thing I find a little deficient about this appeal is that it does not say what type of blood.
I guess no, but it doesn't matter because you give blood and there'll be blood for somebody else. So whatever it is. So if it doesn't matter.
For example, I am A positive.
No, just give blood because somebody else might need it.
Also, it's really replacement blood.
Yeah. So because the hospitals always need that. So we must encourage people. It doesn't matter. Just once you can give, you're in position to give. Just donate. Okay. Now let's go back to the meat of the matter.
Sure.
Ernest, comrade Ernest, I need to applaud you. Because this guy, as you correctly said, he has been on the receiving end of blows.
Yes.
But yesterday, he did it. He responded in the place where he ought to have responded. Right. You don't go on radio and do papi shave yourself because that is just a mockery. The people will try to trap you and, you may say something and they'll take you out of context. But in the house, that is where things must be said. And I don't understand, Mr. Speaker and the others, we must look at the standing orders, man. I mean, you have been clamoring for something. You got it. You got your body blows. You took your ball and you ran away. You just left the parliament. And that is a bad habit. You are being paid to do the people's business. And the people's business is conducted in the house. That is where you ought to be. Bradley, I must give Bradley his props, although I have a lot of stick to give him. But he stays throughout because he knows that is his duty. That is what he's paid to do, to stay in the house, to debate. Sometimes some bills may come forward and it's straightforward. Yeah, you let that pass. But it is your responsibility if you think that there are errors and issues to point that out. And the leader of the opposition, the man is spoiled. The man, once he doesn't get his way, he walks out. And that is classless. That is not supposed to happen. So yesterday, after receiving those serious body blows from Ernest, he realized he could not respond. He tried to make some contribution to some other things, but it was lackluster. It fell flat. It was nothing. I mean, you're querying why the National Trust ought to have tax exemption. But when Sir John and Mr. Hunt sat down and they realized what happened and to protect our patrimony, not our credit rating, our patrimony and stuff, our heritage. These guys foresaw, we need to preserve our history, and you're going to come now in the house and you're going to talk about why they need to be given tax exempt status. After you for 5 years, almost 6 years, you deprive them of the little caca they were getting, not even $1 million. You deprive them of that because you wanted to settle a score with Mr. Tulsi, petty man. Mr. Tulsi was contributed so much to St. Lucia.
Yes, as a math teacher,
that's your alma mater.
I mean, yeah, the man has really.
The man has been
committed, dedicated educator.
And I think he also worked in planning.
Yes, he worked in the ministry.
the man has contributed so much. The man did so much, to advance, to keep our, the heritage sites intact. But you didn't like him because he told you cannot fulfill your father's dream on taxpayers' money by getting the dolphin park at Pigeon Island. You saw the renderings, right?
Of course.
Almost half of Pigeon Island would have been blown up,
going to be cutting into the mountainside and so on,
Because your father, the dream, he wanted a dolphin park.
The only way I see people cutting into mountainsides and so on is not even for archaeological purposes, for military purposes. When you want to build bunkers and gun emplacements and those kind of things, I don't know that.
And the man says, no, we have to preserve our patrimony. You see, if it was credit rating, you would understand that. But I have a friend there, long before Alan got involved in politics. He always said to me, boy, Terry, I played basketball with this guy in the gardens. And anytime things were not going right, he would take his ball and go. Now, at the time, you always say, you say, but then other people verify that. And we are seeing that up to now.
Yes.
When the man is beaten and deflected in the house, he packs his bag, he takes his ball, and he walks out.
And he predictably, we know where he's headed.
Yes, he goes to a talk show and he says, deprive my Democrat. A man who is always taking it. Let me tell you something. When Philip J. was in opposition, and this guy presented the estimates, the first man to stand up to respond was Philip J. Without any fear, because you see, it's not when you speak, it's the substance of what you have to deliver. So Philip, the Honorable Philip J. the Prime Minister now, when he looked at the budget and he's making his notes and he's going to rebut, he's going to respond. He knows what he's saying. And those of us who listen understood. So he doesn't have to speak at night. He responds immediately. That's his duty. And in most of the CARICOM nations, the Commonwealth, that's how it is, The Chancellor of the Exchequer, he presents his budget. And immediately after, almost immediately after, the leader of the opposition stands up and responds. But hey, fellas playing cat and mouse. You actually seen the money. He wants to run and he wants to dictate. Because Prime Minister, he will dictate lay pali. That's a sign of a coward. And when he doesn't get his way, he runs outside. He takes his ball. This is pathetic. And ladies and gentlemen, I think Mr. Speaker and the rest, we all need to revisit the standing orders, man. Because this man is not earning his pay. This man is earning money under false pretense. You cannot come in the house 2 minutes. You get your blows. You realize you cannot respond. You don't stick around and you leave. That is distasteful and that is not setting any record. And I want the flabbos to understand. The young people, look at this. This man is no example to you. It's like you start a match, things are going well, and you take the ball and you walk out of the game. You don't do that. I don't know, West Indies, we're getting blows. We don't walk out.
The child owns as I think the late Irvin Reid wrote once about the petulant behavior of another individual is that the child owns the ball, therefore the child must bat and bowl.
Correct. So it's the side. So young people, this is not an example for you to follow. You must repudiate. You must reject it. And people of Miku South, I hope you need to spare us, man. The country does not need this. The Honorable Philip J. he's bringing people together. Juju brought us together, no? Honorable Philip J. and we're trying to bring people together, and this man, all he's doing is trying to divide and is bad manners, VMS. And we don't want that in our democracy. We want you to come there and earn your pay. And I do not think this man has earned his pay yet. That walking out of Parliament must stop. All right. So we dissected Brother Ralph and what we're going to do, Shelton, at some point, because Ralph on Sunday gave us gems. Although we did it, but you need to hear Ralph in his own words. I know some of you followed, but some of us our attention span not that great, and we will not play the whole hour, but we can give you a little 2 minutes Because when he drops his, you know, remember that, do not let perfection be the enemy of the good. How many of you wrote that down? You know, you should have that, you know. And you have to remind yourself, Rome was not built in a day. Philip J. Pierre is working miracles, you know. I wish we had the resources Guyana had. Or the 680, what is it? The $680 million that this guy wasted. The guy at the ball. If Philip J. Pierre had that, I mean, you'd be much better off, you know. You understand what I'm saying? We'd be much better off because you'd have been able to lengthen the table. Remember that? When things get better, that's what he said. That's what the Honorable Philip J. Pierre said. And that is what Ralph also mentioned that. He alluded to that in his speech on Sunday. That we want to elevate the poor and the marginalized. So when things are good, that's what Philip J. Pierre said, the Prime Minister said. He's not going to build a big offense. It's not going to be champagne for a few. But it's going to be potable water for all. I mean, this resonates with me, you know. I'm Thomas Sankara. And in Philip J. Pierre, we've seen Philip J. Pierre. You see that? And that's what it means. That, you know, the Sankara of our time, of our day, he's going to ensure that it's not champagne for a few. Of course, there'll be champagne. Some people must. I mean, when you go to government house and stuff and you entertain your dignitaries. Yes, but he's going to spread. And he says, and the thing I have to say again, I'm going to come to it because somewhere in the line there, in his speech, you know, he spoke about, you know, he paid two CXCs, English and Math now. But he says he's looking to pay 5. Now, do you give me a costing? What do you think 5 CXCs for a child would be? For a parent?
My goodness me. What's it, 180 per subject?
No, the subjects are, if I remember, 49 something, 49.80.
Okay, so
46.
So let's say $50.
No, man, you crazy. When that adds up.
No, but he said 49. So
no. But let me just tell you why. Well, not a why.
I'm just rounding it off to $50.
Let's just say a child is just doing 5 subjects: English, Math, SS, subjects with no additionals, no practicals, no.
That's around $250.
No, man. You're looking at this between $400 and $500.
Okay, well, I asked you.
I'm just putting you on the spot. No, I'm talking about the general thing. So, if a child now is doing subjects with orals and practicals, easily $600.
Okay.
You understand? And if a child is doing home economics, you know, she has 2 sets, you know, the practice run and the finals.
Okay.
So a parent, $600 in your pocket. You don't have to pay that. You know, like I told you, I gave you the example of the lady who came from the supermarket, Shelton. She came to see the busser. And the bus, I told you that already, but I have to repeat it because I'm going to come to something else. I have my notes, you know, but I'm talking now, so I don't have time to look at it. I might come to it later. She came to pay because she owed her child was graduating. And you know, that's how secondary schools used to make money before. Form 1 and Form 5. Because in between, parents didn't used to pay. So she came there, you know, tentatively. The bus was not out. The bus was out at the time. And she said, come, I say, may I help you? My door is always open, so I saw her go into the room. And she says, but I owe the school and I want to pay. That's a little Malawi, you know. You know, Ralph talk about the Malawi looking out for each other and bill. And I said, but yeah, I owe the school and I came to pay and stuff. And then, you know, I'll be very honest with you. I felt good in a sense because I know what I'm about to do. I said, oh, yeah, he said, but I said, the Prime Minister has cancelled that debt. So apparently, I don't know if she heard me or she was stunned. I say, yeah, you don't owe anything. The Prime Minister has paid your facility, so we cannot take. And the lady was like, you know, like, hallelujah, praise the Lord, thank you, Jesus.
In utter disbelief.
I said, no, I had to repeat it. The Prime Minister, we cannot take, that debt is cancelled. So all you have to think about is your graduation. And the lady was, because the lady must have been saving a little $10 and 20, so she can come and settle painstakingly, so that her son can graduate. And then we have to say, nah, the Prime Minister is taking care of all of that for you. So imagine when it's time for CXC and a child doesn't have to pay. You know, all you have to do, the teachers will insist, no, we're not going to waste the taxpayers' money.
Right.
If you do not perform, you're not going to get it. So you have to work so that you could pay, you know, so that they can be paid for. So it's not a matter of just because it's finished. No. Your SBAs must be on track, you know, your work must be there, etc. You have to show the attitude and So imagine it is your turn, parents. Now, the Honorable Prime Minister, through the examination unit, the assessment unit, not going to call the principals of school and say, listen, can you get me the students of, the children of SLP supporters so we can pay for them? That never, ever happens, you know. You just get the memo from the chief education officer, you know, the minister has decided to pay 5 CXCs, so all children who are eligible, please submit the names.
Jaquan, where's Jaquan?
Jaquan is out there.
Jaquan, are you there?
Yeah, it's almost time for the break.
Yeah, not almost time. It's 1 o'clock already.
1 o'clock. So
I keep telling you when you go in for your points, take a little glance.
I've not even started.
Take a little glance at your phone clock.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, that will change next week.
All right. Okay. You're listening to the Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel and Terry Fenelon. We take a break, and when we come back, he will continue.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The Ministry of Health has launched yet another service under universal health coverage. This new service includes conducting pap smears using liquid-based cytology, which will assist in eliminating cervical cancer.
This new method of conducting pap smears is more comfortable and more convenient. So ladies, contact your nearest wellness center to get to know about our pap smear clinics.
Turnaround time for HPV testing is 1 week. Any abnormal or positive test, there will be a following week for cytology testing. We also going to test for HPV strains 16 and 18, which are the most aggressive, which cause cervical cancer. We can also test for other STIs such as herpes simplex type 1 and type 2, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and others.
Patients with an abnormal HPV and an abnormal cytology shall be referred to the colposcopy clinic. At that clinic, we shall assure that you get the proper treatment and guidance.
So come in and access this new service. Your health is our priority.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you, at Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Thanks for staying with the Real Issues on this Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. With me, Shelton Daniel, and Terry Fenelon, who is going to pick up where he left off.
Yes, I'm trying to glance on. And, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I wrote this. I took some notes from the speech there, and, you know, Makawe, Masa interpret. It's some week with a doctor, so, like it is, I'll go to the speech, I'll try to read it from my phone. So, somebody rightly said, when you see the Prime Minister pays CXC, You don't have facilities fees to pay. You know that happens? What happens? You have more money in your pocket as a parent. And you could do more for your family, for your students. So that's transformative. You understand? And Philip J. Pierre, as I told you, somebody described him as, Kenny Anthony described him as a nuts and bolts man. And somebody, a journalist, put his neck out and say that man is the most transformative leader that we have had in our time. Okay? So we are extremely happy for that, and we've seen what he's doing, how he's transforming the landscape. That's how he opened his that was his introduction on Sunday. He spoke about transforming the social and the economic landscape, and that is true. Look at what he's doing with the economy. This month is what? Minimum livable wage month. So imagine seriously, that's how you transform people's lives.
Life is getting
a little easier,
different in a big and significant way for
a lot of people. He's still subsidizing gas, the cooking gas, and some people are complaining the price of gas for vehicles, but it's almost comparable to the other places. And he made a point that, you think he could take out the subsidy on the cooking gas for the mother of 5 in Fonson, to tell her, well, she has to pay gas for a 20 pounds of $60. Man, that will be on his conscience, man. So he's subsidizing, he's holding that, and all the time he's paying down the national debt and everything. He don't forget, he inherited an economy which had tanked. Jacques, if you have that thing played, the country has no money. An economist, you have that. Play that. Let me that. Play that.
Right? So the government was struggling and is still struggling. And we were honest. I said the government is broke. And COVID has only made the matter worse, right? So the government was struggling and is still struggling. And we were honest. I said the government is broke. And COVID has only made the matter worse.
Tansai, a guy who inherited, Dr. Anthony passed the baton. We're on an upward trajectory. The technocrats, through the mathematical formula, rebased the economy. In other words, you had a bigger economy and you had more fiscal space. You borrowed more than $500 billion, and you were proud to say that, oh man, I borrowed $500 million, I borrowed 500 million. As though that was a game to you. You wasted 580 million, and then COVID hit, and in 2 weeks, the country is broke. Look, but it must be broke because you are just spending injudiciously, just doing mischief to people's money.
In addition to go in and cut the VAT below the rate that was agreed to by the entire currency union and so on,
And then so the country tanked, and you heard it in his own words, Flabo people, listen to what the man cannot manage. He's a poor manager. This man in any other business, he would be fired forthwith. He tanked Air Jamaica, he tanked EC Global Express or EC Express. Everywhere he goes. Even the people he touches. Poor Jab and Shine Barrow in Belize and the guy in Barbados. You came there, you associated with this man, and your own delegates voted you. But hey, because South, we depend on you. So here it is. You inherited all that. And in a matter of a few weeks after COVID, the country is broke. What an abject failure as a financial minister. Finance minister, you are, man. You are Sir John. You know Dr. Anthony, and definitely you are nothing compared to the great PJP, the most transformative leader that we have had. So Philip J. he came in, he didn't complain, There was no rebasing of the economy for Philip J. Pierre. He looked at the figures, and we are tanked 24.5%. We are down in the, we are in the abyss. Philip J. didn't complain. As an economist, he put on his hat. He is aided by able men and women. We have to say that because he cannot do it alone. He trusted the technocrats in the Ministry of Finance. And that is, you must have faith in your people.
Exactly.
He had faith in his technocrats, unlike you, who squandered our money bringing in foreigners to do our budget for us. Man, this is man.
And even a guy that he brought in as a senator said the guy would be his minister of finance. I don't know how a minister of finance needs a minister of finance.
Correct.
That guy had to be bringing another man from the Caribbean Development Bank, Dr. Christopher Ram, to be telling you things that you, as some kind of economic guru. And
because he claimed that he was a developmental economist like Sir Affa.
All it was. Bringing Dr. Christopher Ram to tell you a whole lot of things, going and cut VAT without any in-depth research or consultation as to the effect that would have, and then you scrape in the bottom of the barrel for money.
Country is broke.
They're trying to tax people
But Philip JP
trying to tax people on charcoal and all this kind of thing.
That means when I go by my partner at Grand Riviere there to eat some pudding there, guys, instead of the $10, guys, I'd have to be paid $15. Someone is laughing. He knows where I lie.
And then he has every problem with the health and citizen security levy.
Yes, precisely.
But he wanted to tax people on charcoal, charbon, and on boudin.
Even my barber, Babulal, Babulal would now be charging me $25 because they'd have to tax him and standards on the Chaussee Road. I would not be able to go there every week and get it. I need a shaver. Not be able to go there. I mean, hatless. And the country is broke. While you were drinking champagne, you and your friends, it was just champagne for you and your friends, T.O.R. King, champagne, Ojo Labs, champagne. You know what I mean? Nothing for us. Nothing. You're even talking about paying us in bonds, massing taking bonds. How would we have survived? You understand? Because you are tanked the economy. You are the country in the rubbles, in the abyss. But Pip came in there. He saw it. He did not complain. Up to now, I mean, he says it now. But when he realized what was hitting him, he says, okay, man, you have to steady the ship. And a real economist went to work, aided and abetted by good men and women of goodwill. People who understood and who could work with him. And he had Emma there. Emma is a top. I'm going to play Emma's speech next week when she deconstructed this man and showed us that his brain was empty.
Yeah.
I just got it, so I'll be playing it. Yeah, so Sankara said, it's not champagne for the few, man. It's water for all. And now, from inheriting an economy that had tanked by 24.5%, we are experiencing growth, 3 years of economic growth. And we're in the 4th year. And what's the projection? Another 5%. We had unemployment at high levels. What's the unemployment rate now? 11%, the lowest it has been. And I could tell you that is true because in the STEP program, one of the supervisors, my very good friend, told me, boy, if I tell you the thing, we made calls because, the round of STEP that just ended there. We were trying to get people that we had on the last round of STEP. And we getting them and they don't want to work. I said, but what do you mean? Because you probably have. He said, no, they are employed full time, so they tell us they cannot take up, so they're looking for. And I was like, you serious? Tell me yes. So I'm not surprised by the figures, the 11% unemployment rate, the lowest it has been in a long time. So that's a man who's able to work miracles, with what he has. The side, with the guy who owns the ball, who takes his ball, and he runs away every time things get rough. They're trying to tackle us on inflation, as though for some it's the inflation. No, we have supply chain issues. The Ukraine-Russia war. The only thing that we had there is 6% tax. Philip Gibet took that out, so that tax that we were paying there, no more. You understand? So we tried. He has tried everything. It is beyond, not within his what is within his remit. He did. So the government was collecting the 6%. Is it the excise tax or whatever? He removed that so that at least now even when he did that, he still had the fiscal space, to do other things. What did he do? 4,100 people were given tax refunds. He injected $20 million in the economy like that. Let me repeat that. Even doing all of that, inflation and everything else, and he removing the 6% that government was getting, he still was, Gaza, Philip Jepé, I don't know who's praying for you. I don't know who's guiding you. How you could work this kind of miracles. That's wizardry. With the money. You know, because he's not doing nonsense. He's not giving people to make commission of 7.3 million. You know what I mean? He's not buying old hotels to bail out his friends for 145 million. You understand? He's not giving a hotel. He's not going into bad deals like Range and giving 24 million there to settle Range. You know, this is a man who is prudent.
Waiving a $24 million tax for sandals.
You just step in and you told you take a back seat. Let me do that because which is not supposed to happen.
Yes.
You see, there is something. As I said at the castle, somebody, the Matthias, the man just came in and Matthias our thing. You know, you those of you who play dominoes. I'm coming back to Philip JP. I'm watching the time. You have that thing there, the Matthias domino. You just came in there, Inland Revenue doing the work. You just decide that you're going to take over, and you just step back and you just wiping out things. That is not how things are supposed to run in this country. You know, from Sir John time to down the road, everything was going well. Then this man just came in and he just played bad shots. Instead of a 6-4, playing a 6-5. And people are checking that, you know, because they are dazzled by renderings and the smooth talk, you know, the accent. We like people with accent. Once we hear an American accent, and you know, subconsciously too, when we interact with foreigners, subconsciously we try to speak like them, you know.
Oh, really? Okay.
Check yourself, check the people. When you see the American, be how are you doing, man? You know, we subconsciously we try. So we are dazzled by that. So me say feel like it just Matthias domino. Tenders board gone. You put a man there to hold on for you, 30 direct in one sitting. I mean, if this man had to hold on to the prime ministership for about a month, everything would be direct awarded. You see, because you don't know Matthias already. Deputy Speaker, every prime minister knows you are responsible for the proper constitution of the house. Not so? Because I am in charge. I'm the prime minister. I have to make sure the house is properly constituted. Not you. You did it well on the first outing, and then you Matthias it. You play a wrong shot. And for almost 6 years, we're going there without. I mean, people felt sick and everything. You don't have it? Shakwan? I sent it to you this morning as a clip.
What was that?
I read it. Matthias. Somebody had to spell that for me. I wanted the correct, Creole month. Matthias, the domino. All right? You were in the first order of business. You had to convene Parliament within 30 days. You did not. Your excuse was there are no sanctions. Man, a despot alone would say that. Shelton, you know what is the right thing to do. But you will not do the right thing. You'll deliberately do the wrong thing. Because because you know there's no sanctions.
Yeah, there's no
that's a sign of that's a sign of a despot. And we should have picked up on that. Because if that's your you know what it is right. You know what is right. But you refuse to do what is right. And you openly admitting, but I can do that. I can get away with that because so let me be a rogue. Nothing for that. That's a despot. You dismantle the Central Tenders Board. So you could just be giving direct awards and stuff like that. The biggest infrastructural project in the country. You just give that by direct award? Can you believe that? So that's a man, people who know dominoes, may just Matthias our country. He played bad shots until, you know, everything he did was destructive. You told the people in the National Trust, go and sleep, man. We have an agreement. I give you my word. And in the dead of night, your father who is not elected with the bulldozers, they're mashing up stuff. You're going back on your word. Who does that?
Who does that? Who does that? I
mean, you are the prime minister. You went to court, gave your word. And to me, you should take the word of the prime minister.
It must mean something.
Something to you.
It must count for something.
Oh, yes. And in the dead of the night, your father who is an unelected official is seen doing what? Instructing people to demolish the oldest structure that we have, you know. That's history.
Is that the same father who warned the priests that they will, you know, whatever, Black Lives Matter, where Black Lives Matter and so on?
If you don't, you better go back to your country where black sent you. You better go back to your country. And you know, everybody went quiet. You know why they went quiet? Precisely. It is who said it. Shelton, if you had said that, if Dr. Anthony had said that, if any other person had said that, all today they'd be crucified.
Yes.
But because of who said it, and you know that's why I believe the leader of the opposition is getting away from murder, because of his name and his complexion.
Yeah, and yeah.
Because he can do what he wants, and everybody seems to be afraid of it. But Ernest, what you did there yesterday, I want others, stop pussyfooting with this guy. Stop mollycoddling this guy in the house. Give Mate no privileges. He has not earned it. When Mate steps out of line, escort him out. Don't be afraid of what people will say. Stop that man. The man disrespects the house. He disrespects the speaker. Deal with him most condignly. You know, we must stop accepting that kind of behavior from this summest guy. We have to take a stand. Always give him a chance. Give him a chance. You know, we are afraid, you know, because people will say with this and that. I don't let the people say. Let the people say. Every time the man comes there, he says what he has to say and he walks out. He went to a luncheon just to embarrass the minister, you know. He went to a luncheon just to do that. VMS. And then we are allowing him to go because of his name and his, no. That must stop now. And Ernest, you started it. And I'm happy. I hope it continues. I want that to continue. Anyway, 4,100 people, in spite of all what Philip JP is doing, you know, giving away concessions, he still has the fiscal space to inject $20 million in the economy. I mean, come on. He raised personal allowance, the income tax. You know, when you fill out your tax, you had a personal allowance of 18. Of he increased that by 7,000, so now you could claim up to 25,000. You know what that did? Automatically it took 2,000 people off the paying income tax.
Yes.
In addition, now you know minimum wage 2,000. Water for all. I mean that's a practical application of
not just
water.
any water, you know, drinking water.
Drinking potable water.
Yes, that
for
is
all.
Water, that is water that is up to a certain standard and quality that is prescribed and recognized and verified by WHO and all of that.
I'm saying in the speech, it's only small businessmen, the small businessman, you have a tax, you know, they're struggling, you can't pay your taxes, fine, no penalties. Just come and pay. And I think they should avail themselves of that. They have until May 2025
yes.
to settle.
Jaquan, did you get it?
Yeah, he played it on the screen.
Okay, all right, okay.
He removed VAT on building material. No wonder fellas say they cannot get cement, they cannot get blocks. I tell you, on Sunday I was on the beach there, and after we had our session and stuff, we were just cooling out, enjoying Mother Nature and the nature and the water so soothing. And the guys said, bro, the wharf is loaded with containers. And these containers bringing what? Cement and steel. I can't get blocks.
And as soon as it gets offloaded,
you can't get workers. Because he made it easier for you.
Because of the VAT.
The fiscal special. It's only a wizard that can do that. I mean a wizard in terms of handling money.
And people know that this arrangement is in place for just 2 years.
Now let me come to another important point. Because the opposition poo-pooed it when he did it in the house. Period poverty. He went to the house to remove VAT on sanitary napkins. Now I'm going to stick up in here. I might speak for a little while, and then maybe take or something when we take the break.
Yeah.
Listen, let me make something very clear. You see, when you have money and you can afford, these things mean nothing to you. You're making a good salary. You have a daughter, you yourself, you go and you buy your pads, you buy in bulk and you stock up. But there are many who cannot afford. Now, you know where I worked? I manage an institution. And I could tell you, we came across that a lot. Sometimes the period is just coming to you know, and you have to go home, they have nothing. But I have to, permit me to big up one of the companies in St. Lucia, Renrick and Company. Every year they used to have a little workshop. They come to the schools. Well, I know they do it by me. I suspect they did other places. And they'll get the girls in Form 1. And they'll do some hygiene and stuff, you know, to give them the talks, etc. And when they left, when they were leaving, when they came to the office, there'd be a big bag of sanitary napkins. The counselor would handle that because, you know, the girls would usually have female counselors. So the girls, easy for them. I think it still operates. Now, There's a pin I want to speak. That's why I
stick
stop
there.
there. I was with my friend a long time ago. A friend of mine, retired police inspector or superintendent, something. And we were talking, and we called him, and he says, listen, he says, Terry, invariably after you talk, it comes to work and stuff. And he says, Terry, when a child doesn't have food, and you give the child food, and maybe $150 for bus, you have not helped that child.
Because the child is still hungry.
Now,
which one?
I was about at the time, I stepped back, and he repeated. He says, Terry, when you have a child at school who is hungry and cannot go home in bus, you give that child a meal, and you give the child $150 for bus. You have not really helped that child. And then he explained. He said, think about it. That child who is hungry, and you give him $150. How is that child coming back to school the following day? That is why we are very happy that they have the bus subsidy.
Okay.
He says, but who's going to... Now, if that child's parent or mother, usually single parent, gets $20, what would they buy? Some rice and chicken. But that child will have no toothpaste, no sanitary napkins, no soap.
And not only the child coming to school tomorrow, you give the child food today, you give them the bus fare to go home. Okay, how do they get the bus fare to come back to school? And
Precisely.
What about breakfast?
So I shared that little anecdote with my teachers in one of our early morning briefings. I said, and they were like, it hit them too, like it hit me. And then the suggestion was made, sir, we're going to put a box. And in that box, teachers, students who can, non-perishable items, we're going to put it there. And at the end of the month, or whatever, we distribute. I think it's still going on. I want to make that point to you. Brother Ralph was big on that. You heard the speech by Brother Ralph, ensuring that we build up each other, we look out for each other in love, etc. Folks, you don't have to labor flabo, doesn't it? You see, some of you have big money, and sometimes you're overtime fat. Fat. Let me tell you something. Let me plead with you. You see, at the end of the month, because you can, those of you who can afford, you shop, you make sure your family has the best. Yeah, buy the caviar and the lobster and things. Yeah, that's fine. But spare a thought. Maybe in a school, try to adopt a child. Spend a little $40, a little toothpaste, a little soap, and drop it for the principal. Say, give that to a needy child, because they have needs. Our Prime Minister is doing the best he can, but you heard Comrade Ralph. He cannot do it all alone. We have to help him sometimes. So those of us who can afford, when you have a little spare change and you go to the supermarket, God has blessed you, so to speak, because we only think of blessings of money. Enlarge your table. Build a bigger table. Make a contribution to the school and say, listen. Or you don't want to shop, you have $100, go to the school, say, let the bursar get the child's name. And say, I'm going to give $100 so that child can have lunch. At the secondary schools, we have a lunch program, and 50 children are fed every day. The Ministry of Education pays, which is good. And I'll tell you, those children who are fed, they are very regular. Because you know why? Maybe that's the only place they get in a hot meal during the day. And so they come to school. And I go tell you the list. We feed the most needy, but we have an alternative, a list of alternates, so that when one doesn't come, we fit in. Because the list is long. And so those of us who can't afford, good, give that. A little sanitary napkin, because there are some girls who don't have it. And when I heard the opposition knocking that, I was like, boy, these fellas are so out of touch with reality. They do not understand that we have the people among us who cannot afford sanitary napkins. The young girls cannot afford, because when their parents get the money, it's not toiletries they can buy. They have to eat. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have to take care of your belly first.
You know what is the problem with UWP? They only seem able to analyze things unidimensionally, in one dimension at a time. They do not seem to be able to see things in the multiplicity of angles and perspectives and options. Which is the very same reason why Gail Rigobert went and made this very stupid statement about it is not only when you give, but whoever said it's only laptops you're focusing on. Whoever said the curriculum, the instruction, all of that is based only on one plank. But they're only able to see things on one plank at a time. So you're talking about the Health and Citizen Security Levy. The fellas on that for weeks on end, as if that is in isolation from other things which you have mentioned.
Yes.
The many different concessions and areas of assistance that the government far exceeds the Health and Citizen Security Levy and so on,
Yes.
But they will keep focused on that and on that and on that alone.
But
now let me just tell you something.
Yes.
We have to say good afternoon to Mr. Victor Girard.
All right.
And here's something he wrote yesterday, which we didn't have time to read. He said, Alan lied when he brought Galaxy here. He said he carried out due diligence when the St. Kitts project was at a standstill, but he told us Galaxy was performing very well.
Right.
I said very early, Alan has a defect in his brain. He's unable to think rationally.
That's right.
And you don't have to be denigrating him to say that.
So,
I said
right.
it yesterday. Yeah. Alan Chastney is a very damaged thinking. You understand? And he's very destructive in terms of his practice. Mr. Girard writes again today, how Rijok could write such an accurate description of Chastney and his government. But Chastney now joins with him to denigrate Hilaire. Right. He will consort with the devil in his attempts to paint Hilaire as a corrupt official. I just thought we needed to write that. There's also a nice one on the Real Issues chat group where a retired former senior civil servant says, Mr. Federlaw, these are the things the former Prime Minister cannot relate to. He was born not only with a golden spoon, but also with a golden fork in his mouth. So he will never understand, nor does he have it in him, to emphasize if a poor parent who is relieved from having to pay facilities fees. Right. Chastney and his cult followers dismiss the things that make a difference in the lives of hundreds of St. Lucians as small things. These are
the transformative things, and this is what Dr. Anthony started, and our present Prime Minister is doing. Yeah. So yes, when you need to adopt a child, those of you who can afford, you have spare change, you have extra, disposable income. It doesn't take much, $40, a little pad, a little, rice, a little lentils, tuna fish, a toothpaste, soap. Now I like the carbolic soap. Everybody goes for it. I like my carbolic soap. That smell nice and drink, and that ain't too expensive.
It's already 1:30.
Oh, we're taking a break. Oh, all right. Let's take the break and we'll come back.
Yeah, when we come back, it's up to you. If you want to go to calls,
I'll take two more things and we'll take calls.
Okay, all right.
When we come back.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The Ministry of Health has launched yet another service under universal health coverage. This new service includes conducting pap smears using liquid-based cytology, which will assist in eliminating cervical cancer.
This new method of conducting pap smears is more comfortable and more convenient. So ladies, contact your nearest wellness center to get to know about our pap smear clinics.
Turnaround time for HPV testing is 1 week. Any abnormal or positive test, there'll be a following week for cytology testing. We're also going to test for HPV strains 16 and 18, which are the most aggressive, which cause cervical cancer. We can also test for other STIs, such as herpes simplex type 1 and type 2, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and others.
Patients with an abnormal HPV and an abnormal cytology shall be referred to the colposcopy clinic. At that clinic, we shall assure that you get the proper treatment and guidance.
So come in and access this new service. Your health is our priority.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you, at Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with the real issues on this Wednesday, 23rd of October 2024. Folks, it's Creole Heritage Month. No matter what we say about the vibe, don't seem to be as upbeat and so on. It is Creole Heritage Month. We had Lawas at the end of August. We had La Marguerite just a few days ago. Yeah, 24th, 17th. What are we talking about? A week, A week, and we had, La Marguerite, we've had World Food Day. We've had a very packed calendar this year, so sometimes the energy may be waning, things may not, be moving as smoothly. A lot of things to deal with, a lot of things on the national plate. We've come from the high of Juju Mania and Julian Alfred Day. It is, the start of minimum wage, the first month of minimum wage and so on. A lot of things are happening. Don't let anything rob your joy. The Journée Creole, the Creole heritage vibe. Sometimes when we seem to see the usual thing about government doing this and FRC doing this, this is an invitation. This is an opportunity for us as individuals, as neighborhoods, as communities to step up and to do something. And sometimes, the something that we do, it explodes. I grew up I was born in Dennery. We have some very fond memories, raised in Monrepo. And let me tell you one night what happened. We were just hanging out on the block. Where were we? On where we call the base, or down by Marry Me Disco. And Marry Me Disco was owned by a gentleman, Mr. Pelios, who was Jeremiah Nobert's grandfather. He died a year or two ago and so on. And then all of a sudden, the guys who were there, some of them my relatives, Henry, the Serrier people and so on, just decided, let's do a sewenal. Coming up to Christmas, and many of you I will not be able to describe a sewenal to you. You have to kind of grow up in it to know the spontaneous people coming together and just on the streaming, singing traditional, folk Christmas songs, Bo Felili, Bo Fellow, this kind of thing and so on. And one of them just said, Monsieur Anfon sewenal. And just a handful of people started walking the road singing Yoga Dizezu Nusu, or the song Jiwaka Uve La Jemwe, Oh Yo Yo La Jemwe, and people walking who have their little taboo, who their little makeshift shack, who just 2 pieces of wood, who a piece of tin and a piece of stick. And they started walking the road there. And I remember one of the foremost singers of it was Crusita Descat Pelios' sister, I think older than her, Bridget. At the time the family was Norbert, you knew all of them as, but a lot of the time you had a surname, and when all the thing of rectification and came up, you realized that's not really your surname and so on, so you move from, but Bridget Norbert was the lead singer for that sewenal that night. And people just started following the road. And by the time you reach half a mile, Sewenal had grown so big. When I tell you big, there wasn't room for an ant to pass in the road. Sewenal left, and if you know where La Pointe is, and you go down Patience, and you pass Monrepo, Sewenal went all the way down to Pralin. On foot, people are walking one big mass of people on the road enjoying Sewenal. That was the best I ever saw, and it started without any planning to say, okay, next week we're going to have a Sewenal. Just people sitting there, get a little bored and so on. They just maybe eating, talking, listening to a little music, sipping a little drink and so on. And they went, and I mean, that Sewenal was absolutely massive. I think people spoke about it for a long time to come, how they never seen. And I'm bringing that up to say, Creole Heritage Month, we have our own vibe that we grew up in and so on. The songs, the bamboo. I ain't hearing too much bamboo, but then when you're around Castries, maybe it's not so much.
I'm hearing it.
But I mean, the bamboo, I had some of it, you know, but I mean, not like, you know, you'd expect bamboo would be exploding around this time and so on. Folks, you get access to bamboo without doing any environmental damage, because now with construction boom and so on, people use a lot of bamboo for props and this kind of thing. Well, this is a time to take your own vibe and to develop it and so on. I just want to give some encouragement. Other thing, Brother Fellow, I wanted to say, which I think is a line you have been pushing. There is no better time for people who support the Labour Party to invite and embrace and convince people from the other side. The disastrously inept leadership of Alan Shasney will make UWPs more than ever before willing to consider, willing to listen, willing to give it a try. Don't take the line of, oh, Flabo, not me, I'm interested in it. There is no better time to find the Flabos who are disillusioned, who are disenchanted, and to let them know that there is a big tent called St. Lucianness and patriotism and nationalism under which, it's not a Labour tent, it's not a red tent, it's not Philip J. Pierre tent, it's the national tent upon which we can all unite from people who have been trying to divide us for their own purposes, for their own self-aggrandizement, for their own devious agenda, and so on. And we have to unite. And there is no better time to reach out to Flabos, to UWPs, to people of the other side, and extend your hand. And maybe no season where you will find such willingness for them to consider and respond to you than now. Alan Shasney has been a disaster for the United Workers' Party.
Go ahead, Terry. Yes. Yeah, okay. As I was saying, let me just make 2 points before we open the line. Yeah, somebody just asked me for the price of a meal at the school. I know where I was at Babano. A child could get a nice meal for $8. Maybe they have. I mean, in this time. So, adopt a child, and remember, there are those, if they cannot afford food, they cannot afford bus fare. Although the ministry now, they are not now. Sorry, it has been paying for. There's a bus subsidy program going on. There are children who cannot afford the girls, period poverty. You know how it is. We don't want our girls staying home because they cannot afford a pad. So, listeners, that includes all, Flabo, SLP, adopt a child in a school. Maybe it's too cumbersome for you to go and shop and drop it. These schools have buses. They'll give you a name. The principal will give you a name. And through the busa, you could organize for that child to have a meal a day. I mean, I told you already, Sir John Compton, Lady Janice Compton, for the John Compton Foundation, is already paying CSEC subjects, up to 6, for up to 6 or 7 children per school. Excuse me, let me use that. That's a hell of a lot. And she calls, Mr. Fernando, are you ready for your list? And the Sir John Compton Foundation, they are already paying CXCs, the 7, 6, some children are writing 6, some 7. In fact, that's needy children, So those who cannot afford, the John Compton, I have to pick up Sir John. Even in death, he did more than the guy with the ball who takes his ball and runs, So, Lady Janice, I want to big you up. I mean, you're doing excellent. I know you don't like the publicity. I understand that. But, I mean, a man must say...
A guy who has benefited so much from the work of Sir John Compton, the Labour... But look at how the man treated...
You told the man's party...
No, but look at how the man treated Sir John Compton's daughter.
Yeah.
A former MP,
Oh, she doesn't talk to me.
Yes.
And she doesn't support my party.
Yeah.
So you have to deliver.
Not only that, it has become his party now.
But it's his party. Well, it's not his side.
Does not want her in the National Trust because he knows the devious...
Let's agree on this. It's his side. Yeah. Because he has reduced the ones famous UWP to a side. So adopt somebody. Now, I'll talk about the fiscal space in spite of what he has done. Let me just go quickly to Liad and then we'll open the calls. On Sunday, I was going to my normal swimming. And I saw this nice gentleman waiting for a ride. He had his little tag, etc. So I said, you have to stop for this. Only to realize that's my former student. well dressed. And I said, but hey, when they were in the vehicle, what's happening? How are you? What have you been? So I'm going to work. Say, yeah, you're going to, who are you working for? Leah. And my heart skipped a beat. Here is a man, I don't want to call him names, who actively campaigned for the destruction of a regional institution.
Yes.
That's what Ralph said,
Yeah.
This guy has no connection to Caribbeanness.
Yes.
And you put him in there, what you going to expect? He's going to denigrate the Caribbean institutions.
Not one red
can't
cent.
relate.
Not one red cent of St. Lucia's money will be going to
I mean, and it's not that you was quiet about it. He was quite open.
Yeah.
He attacked the workers. He wanted the destruction. And we saw what happened when Liat left. There was a void. It was a nightmare. But Liat is back. And people are employed again. And only that, the workers who were in limbo. Philip J. Pierre, the Christian that he is. Not the guy say, if they eat, they ain't go die. And you just had to cry. But I'm a student of the Bible.
Yeah, but God would never put Philip J. Pierre there. Somebody else that put Philip J.
But Philip J. Pierre said, no, these people have worked, they deserve us. Now, the other countries have not done that. So he has paid them what was due to them. He did not have to do that. They were not government workers. But he realized that these people have families, they have mortgages, they have everything. So he paid. Now, that's a Christian. Not only that, the majestic workers, 197 of them, limbo for years. He says, no, man, I have to take care of them. And each of them was able to receive $10,000, as a... People thought that would never... I mean, we know under this guy, that would never happen. He would never even turn back to look at... As far as he concerned, Liat was crap. You know what I mean? Liat had to go. But Philip J. Pierre, the man that he was, is... the Christian that he is, the transformational leader that he is, the servant leader that he is, says, no, I have to take care of my people. Because they are our people. They are St. Lucians, they are citizens. So he took care of them. They're happy like a birthday, they say. The majestic workers, unfortunately, some of them may have passed away, but the families, I think, received 197. He took care of them. Because that is what a leader does. He does not discriminate. He doesn't press his people.
And not just that. It is the political philosophy, as Comrade Ralph said. Alan Shastney sees development as being figures. Figures that he himself does not understand, mind you know. But it's all about economic growth and the economy grew and what about it? What he does not understand is that economic growth is actually a component. It is actually an assist to the broader concept and construct of economic development. And one of the great factors and ingredients of economic development is people. Development is about people. People drive development. People must benefit from development.
That is correct.
So when you see Philip J. Pierre takes care of people who are disenfranchised, who are marginalized, who were let go without any terminal payments, without any arrangements made to try to secure their social benefits and so on, and even to get employment for them down the road and so on. At the end of the day, you are hurting your economy. You are hurting economic growth. You are hurting economic development. When you put money in the hands of those people,
they spend it.
It is the very businesses that Shastney believes he wants to support and push. They are the ones who benefit from those people having money in it. He doesn't realize that. He doesn't want to see whether it's supermarket, whether it is whatever enterprise he is interested in, or his friends, his family, whatever, they benefit from the efforts to strengthen people's hands economically. Sorry about that, commentary. That is why I tell you, on certain days, you have to come and take this program alone.
You have to, Amma. There's a call. Let's take the call.
Yeah, okay. Hi, good afternoon, caller. Real issues.
Good afternoon to the gentleman in the pink, man.
Hold on, caller. Just hold on for us. Yeah, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon to the gentleman in the pink. What I say now? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Shelton.
I'm not talking to you.
Shelton.
I'm not talking to you.
My friend.
I'm not talking to you. You went straight to the gentleman in the pink, but go ahead.
This month I'm not paying house rent. I'm not paying light bill. I'm not paying water bill. And I'm not paying flow. And if anybody that I owe anything, I'm not paying them. Right. I thought you'd ask me why.
Yeah, but we're ready for you.
Now go ahead. The man in pink will take care of that.
We're ready for you.
Shelton. Could you imagine the leader of the opposition saying that he did not stop the subvention for the National Trust?
Yes.
He said it was never stopped, it was being withheld.
I don't know.
Could you imagine that?
I don't know, To me, I keep telling you, Shasta's mind is
He
messed
said
up,
he did not stop. He said that the subvention was not stopped.
No, but we can go back to the budget statement.
Withheld.
Yeah.
And you want to call my Prime Minister jackass?
I don't know why.
You want to call my Prime Minister retarded? You want to call my Prime Minister stupid? You want to call my Prime Minister slow? And the leader of the opposition, who for almost 6 years saying he did not stop the subvention, it was withheld. So when people, Shelton, your boss is going to pay you now, huh?
Yeah, because
because
your boss will say your boss will say it's not pay. I didn't pay him. I just withheld his salary. Yeah, let them come and try that in St. Lucia.
I surprised you all had said that,
Yeah.
I surprised you all.
No, there's time. There's always time. There's always tomorrow. There's always another day, brother.
Yeah.
Man, imagine Philip J. made Shasnerians happy yesterday, Philip J. making everybody happy, Shasnerians got a chance to demonstrate or to protest. Yes.
Yeah.
A place where they could not stand for almost 6 years. They couldn't stand there because they had barricades and policemen there who were armed to the teeth. They couldn't pass there. Under Alan Shasta administration, the whole place was shut down. According to you, the place shut down. Shut down. The place shut down.
Yeah, when Philip J. Pierre comes in, that's it.
But now when
The whole place blew up.
he said no barricade, no barriers. Everybody have a right to come there and protest. So the Shasnerians, because they are UWP, they are Shasnerians. So Shelton, remember, you're not going to pay your bills this month.
That's withhold it. Well, I'll tell you, especially for electricity, Lucille won't take time for them to withhold the current, So how withhold give I finish, yes.
Shelton, like this, I'm quite quickly. The word is amalgamation. And our partner, after 5 tries, fell enough.
Yeah, we know.
Say amalgamation,
We know.
He was Amal Mama. All kind of
But he will talk about people. But yeah.
JPA had to tell him
Yeah,
that the word
go
is
ahead.
amalgamation.
Yeah.
But you want to call my Prime Minister Dotish?
We'll leave that at some
Have a
point.
nice day.
Yeah, thank you very much, caller.
Okay.
So, Shelton, we're still with the Prime Minister's speech. When in opposition he says, if I had the money, these fellas, that's the thing, the country is broke.
Let's just call out the phone numbers. WhatsApp number, you can WhatsApp call us on 487-9849. That's, of course, area code 758-487-9849. And you can also reach us on the local landline 4533-911. Go ahead, Terry.
Yes, when he was in opposition, remember on the back I said, if we had the money, I would give income support. There's a guy in the house who says, you think people will give us money to give people money? Income support, people who are doing COVID.
Yeah.
A lot of the job had to be laid off. They had nothing to survive on. But you were getting loans and grants.
Yeah.
And they tell you that was income support. Now, income support to me is straightforward. They have lost the income, so you give them that. You think people will give us money to give people money, but we know who was getting the money.
Yeah, but they were giving people money to build 10 schools for their wives.
And everything like that. You collecting.
The prison kind of thing.
Philip J. Pierre got some grants, and those in the informal sector, thousands of them,
Yes.
they were able to collect up to $1,500 in income support. That's a wicked man? Is that a wicked man?
Absolutely not.
We have a call. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, caller. Real issues. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, Shelton.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon to Terry.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. I remember Philip J. Pierre taking that party from call it from the ground and bring it up, because he took over the leadership when Labour was still devastated from the general elections. That is 2016, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? Terry, you remember that, right?
Yes.
Right. And this man was able to take that party up, reorganize all the constituency groups, put things in order, and extend that to the nation and end up winning the general elections. Mm-hmm. This man has always been my favorite politician. Mm-hmm. You know, I usually look at him as the PJP of St. Lucia. You know, PJ Patterson? Mm. Right. Mm-hmm. Terence, you remember, can I ask, do you remember attending a meeting somewhere, what was it, late 2016, thereabout, a meeting somewhere in Grand Riviere?
Yes, I remember that meeting well.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah, and that's where I really give that man the respect that he deserves. You know, and I remember that man at the meeting, and I'm talking about Honorable Philip J. Pierre.
He read the tea leaves from there. That meeting was at Montsepa, in a house in Montsepa.
That's right.
And he was able to tell you straight off.
I was in attendance.
Yes, you were there.
And you know, that's where I started really respecting that man. I've been observing him long before that, because you see his daughter that people talking about and saying all kind of thing. People need not come between these two individuals. I can tell you that. All right?
Yeah.
Because there is a special bond between Philip J. Pierre and his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When he was in opposition, he used to take his daughter to school. That is something I personally observed. He used to take his daughter to school, and he used to come there like maybe about 15 minutes in advance and stay there and chat with his daughter, you know. And then when it's time for school, then she would go up to class and he would go. So, you know, there is a special bond between these two people that people should not try and get between the two of them and try and destroy that relationship.
Okay.
Okay, yes. I thought I should say that.
Right.
But, you know, I just have a lot of respect, a lot of regard for this gentleman, Philip J. Pierre. You know, he's genuine in what he's doing. Mm-hmm. You know, he's genuine. He is for people. You know,
that's right.
He wants to see people advance. He wants to see St. Lucia advance. You know,
yeah.
And you know, I'm really puzzled. You know, at people trying to call him on deck and all this kind of things.
I think your point is made already. We greatly appreciate it.
Yes.
Let's give Bernard Haynes from New York a little chance to wrap up the last minute for us.
Okay.
Yeah, Bernard, go ahead.
Yeah, Shelton, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Federer.
Good afternoon.
I know you only have about 2 minutes there, so let me quickly ask you. So then, what report that was laid in the house yesterday?
That was the report.
I was expecting.
That was the annual, the 2000 and the 2022 to 2023 Citizenship Investment annual report.
But wasn't there going to have a debate about it, like the opposition rebutted to it?
Yeah, the debate. If there is to be one, it would have to come later. But yesterday, it's just that the report was being tabled. Yeah,
tabled in the house.
Yeah, in the parliament.
But the leader of the opposition could not say anything else?
No, he could not. It came under the heading of statements by ministers.
Okay, good. All right. I just wanted to make sure I get that right, because when you're ignorant of things, you have to be learned. Okay. The other thing, Shelton, let me quickly say thanks to Ansel Maxwell, you know, who I think is doing a really good job in getting 17 students some scholarship, Shelton. 17 students from St. Lucia together with a group of rustlers and, you know, a church, you know, because, you know, St. Lucia is always experiencing all of a sudden more. So these children will be going to school and studying mold remediation. So thanks to Anson Maxwell. So the other thing I just wanted to say quickly, I walked somewhere and I heard a former, I'm not sure if he was a minister, but he ran the seat against Sean Edward in Delhi, and in less than a month or two he was in government, he had to resign. And I heard this gentleman talking about not trusting anything. You have no way of giving information. He doesn't listen to you because you are nobody to give him information. And I think you know who's that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm saying to myself, when these guys, Jimmy Henry, when these guys, Shelton, have carried themselves in a manner that they can't even serve the public. They want to look at people who inform the public, who is teaching the public, and want to try to bring them down. But Shelton keep doing what he's doing because he just could not pass with his statement last week when I met him.
Okay. So what is Jimmy? Is Jimmy Henry back on board with the UWP? Is that what you say?
Yeah, that's right. Shelton.
Okay. All right. Okay, my friend. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Let us end there. We're going to elaborate on that because I want to show you the face of a man who has Matthias our politics. Shelton, I'm not done with the speech by the Honorable
you're renaming him. He's no longer Alan Michael.
No, that's Matthias.
Alan Matthias Chasney.
Because that's man. He has Matthias the politics. He has Matthias everything. He has turned everything upside down, including the once great party. He has reduced it to a side with his ball.
So you add the Matthias in place of the Michael. I'll add something in place of the Chasney because I'm sure they're good Chasney.
Yeah,
it's Alan Matthias Quasi because tout bagay Michel Quasi custody suite Quasi pont Quasi
man Michel ka just Matthias tout bagay man except pas bon pièce. Alright, I realize it's almost
Michel ka hear about COVID the COVID sauvé pays because COVID empêché il fait ça il fait so about the COVID he said they have crush up he crush up the whole country.
I want to go on. I want to continue to dissect the speech by the great honorable, Philip J. Pierre. But
is Lotto coming on yet?
Okay, Lotto not on yet.
Let me get it. The problem with us and with continuing after the Lotto, the television is programmed, which we are simulcasting on as one company, NBC. But the television is programmed to end at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, yes.
So even when we continue, we'll be continuing only on radio and nobody with television.
What about Facebook, no?
And I think the Facebook feed also, it
also
also ends
Facebook?
at 2. No, it's not. So
ends?
yeah, it ends also. So the Lotto is coming on now? Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But no, you can get faded out because
somebody told me we should add an S. No, I wanted to keep it respectable. You could do that for yourself. You have the meme. I can send the meme, and you could put it up because that's what we need to say. Because this man, that is what he's a demolition man. Yes. He came in with no plan. He knows everything. He knows better than the technocrats. He doesn't want anybody to question him. He does what he wants. He wants to speak when he wants to speak. And if he doesn't get to speak, he throws a tantrum. He takes his ball like when he was in the gardens playing basketball, and he leaves the house.
It's not been for the resilience of the National Trust people. This man would not mash up the
long. We have no national trust. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, we have to bind together to ensure that this man, we condemn him to send him into oblivion because this man does not deserve to be in our body politic. He is not for us. And Ernest, I happy yesterday you were not mincing words, and that is what I like. Stop the mincing of words. When you deal with these guys, now that's just for Ernest. That's for all of them. You're there playing with Bradley. Oh, come over. If Bradley is a dangerous fella. Bradley's a fella. He's smart. He knows everything. But he's there playing thing. Shasni is not good for the country. Say that. Be like Boss Al. Boss Al he gave us a longer song, Boss Al. You know it? Yes. The man is actually saying the man is praising the youth economy. This was brilliant by Philip J. Pierre. He took that out from pie in the sky and he concretized it. He made it a reality. And many people now, many young people they're on their way to being millionaires. As they develop their interests and their hobbies, they are turning that into something that they can earn a living from, so they don't have to depend on employment from somebody. They can use the grants and the little loan to further themselves, and that is transformative. That is why Philip J. Pierre is a transformative leader. So we got to run. It is a pleasure being here. I need to go and get something to eat there now.
Yes.
2024 were Double Daily Grand, 10 14, 18, 19. Big 4, 5012. Big 4 Multi-X FP. Pick 2, 6, 8. Pick 2 Multi-X FP. 1 off, 4, 2, 2. Lucky 3, 804. Lucky 3 Multi-X 2X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff.